Today's date is September 1st, 2023. It is 1:33 p.m. I am in the office of Judge Jason Nagel, Warren County Municipal Court. Clermont County Municipal Court. Thank you. You're the administrative judge?
I am.
Okay. How long have you been the administrative judge?
My 2 years will be up at the end of this year, so a year and 8 months, something like that. This time. I've been the administrative judge years ago as well. We usually rotate it every 2 years.
Okay. Does that title put you in a position of supervision over the other judges? Or
No. No, it does not. Basically, you're just the judge who, there may be certain matters that are fairly perfunctory that the other judges don't have to be involved with. Maybe an issue with paperwork from the clerk or something like that, you would handle as the administrative judge.
Okay.
Things of that nature. But no, neither myself nor Judge Beckman have any authority or ability to discipline another judge.
Okay. Okay. For the record, the reason I'm here is the allegations of some sexual activity that possibly took place in the courthouse late June of this year involving Judge Jesse Kramig and Administrative Assistant Allison Kersker.
Okay.
Is that correct? Are those names correct?
Those names are correct.
They work here at the courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge that occurred?
No.
No knowledge. Okay.
I mean, other than the allegations that have taken place after the fact, but I don't have any firsthand knowledge of that situation taking place here.
Okay. And I know legal counsel has said any conversations between you and those employees?
Any conversations that either myself or Judge Beckman have had with the employees as part of this circumstance is considered confidential. That's correct.
Considered confidential.
Correct. Okay. Not just me, but Judge Beckman as well.
Okay. What about any other employees? Have they come to you and said they knew of anything going on?
What do you mean?
Any other employees in the office come to you and raised attention to this incident?
Beforehand?
After?
Beforehand, no.
No. Okay. When did you find out?
I don't have my calendar in front of me, but it was whatever day when Ms. Kersker did not show up for work. I think it might have been a Wednesday,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
It's the last Wednesday of June, I believe, before the July 4th break.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was June 28th, maybe.
Okay. Like I said, if I had a calendar, I could confirm the date, but without a calendar in front of me, I just know it was that Wednesday. And I remember part of the reason I remember that day is because Judge Kramig's bailiff, they had an altercation in his courtroom earlier that day, and his bailiff, Mr. Allison, had been injured as a part of that altercation.
Okay.
At some point in time, we also were interviewing a new potential probation officer, so we did that over the lunch break. Myself, Judge Beckman, Judge Kramig, Ms. Boyer was present, and also Ms. Sellers, Tracy Sellers, who's the head of the probation department. We interviewed the person. When we were done, Judge Kramig asked me to come talk to him at my office. Myself, him, and Ms. Boyer were present, and then he started to explain the situation.
The courtroom situation.
He explained that something had taken place.
Oh, okay.
That's the first I found out.
Okay. Okay. All right. Have you started any internal procedures, any investigation into this? Have you notified any outside ethics commission, anything?
No. So after we spoke, he spoke with an attorney.
Okay.
I think that primarily does that type of work. He came to me, I think it was the next day, and indicated that another attorney in that same office wanted to talk with me and him and wanted me as part of the conversation since I was the administrative judge.
Okay.
Through the course of that conversation, we were given some questions that were to be asked of the employee, and Ms. Boyer asked those specific questions. So that was the primary portion of the investigation that had taken place, at least initially.
Are you permitted to say what those questions were?
Honestly, I don't remember all of the questions specifically. I know one of them dealt with whether or not there was any force. Another one dealt with whether or not there was any actions that had taken place here in the office. I believe another one was whether or not she still felt safe. I know there were 5 questions, and I can't remember them verbatim or what the 5 were, but the answers that were given by the employee led us to believe that, at least at that point in time, there wasn't much else that we could do as employers to investigate the circumstance.
Okay. Okay. One of the things that came out in the original reporting of this incident was Allison was told she'll probably need to find some other employment. Do you know anything about that?
No.
And specifically your name, what was brought up?
I have seen my name brought up on that. I actually had received an email from a writer from the Inquirer probably about a week or so ago. I responded, I don't know if you saw it or not, I responded in the press with my statement, but the allegation that I had a private conversation with her that following day is completely false. It's untrue.
Okay.
The first time that I had any conversation with Ms. Kersker about the circumstance was the day after July 4th, because we had that weekend off.
Okay.
So Thursday, I talked to the attorney. Friday, Ms. Boyer spoke with the employee. We weren't able to talk to the attorney, and I wasn't able to talk to the attorney until I think that Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it is, the first court date back after the 4th of July weekend. At that point in time, myself, Ms. Boyer, and Judge Beckman spoke with the employee in my jury room and, in fact, told her the complete opposite, that she had nothing to worry about as it related to her job. If there were ever if anyone had ever tried to put any pressure on her to come to any one of us or all of us with that, we also told her that our jobs were to protect her as an employee and to make her as comfortable as we could here, based upon the circumstances that had taken place.
Okay. For me, the main thing for me is I was asked to, Clermont County did most of the investigation.
Okay.
I was asked to review it. There were 3 main things we were looking into. One, did sexual activity take place at the courthouse during working hours or any time? Obviously, you wouldn't want that happening here.
Correct.
Number 2 was what we just talked about, whether Allison was pressured or how that was handled. Number 3...
I can tell you she was never pressured by myself. I can't speak on behalf of anyone else, but as it relates to your question in dealing with me, I've never had a conversation with her in private or with anyone else around that would indicate that her job was ever in jeopardy.
Okay. And then she was given 5 raises over the course of 2 years. And I noticed they were signed off on by the court administrators, Ms. Boyer. Do the judges have any say-so in that?
Yes.
They do? Okay.
Typically, what would take place when we consider raises at the end of the year is whoever the three judges are will sit down, look at how much money that we've got, if we have additional money, or if there's been money that's been given as basically general raises from the commissioner's office, and then we'll decide who gets raises, and if so, the amount of those raises.
Okay. Is 5 raises over a 2-year period abnormal? Could be normal?
It depends. I know under the circumstance here, I know that she, along with another employee that were both hired in at almost the exact same time, and they do basically the exact same job. They're cross-trained to do each other's jobs, basically. We had situations where we had people that had either left or retired. I don't know if anyone retired, but I know we had at least 1 and maybe 2 employees that had left. And when we rehired, we had what would have been that original person's salary versus a starting person's salary, so we had some extra money in place. That, in conjunction with raises that we got from the commissioner's office, we gave some raises.
Okay.
We typically try to do them at merit-based,
Okay.
as opposed to just flat raises across the board. Sometimes we do flat raises. Sometimes if we think a person or people are doing a very good job, they'll get more than other individuals.
Does she do a pretty good job for you guys?
She is a great employee.
She is a great employee. Okay.
Correct.
And
As well as the other employee who is getting the identical raises during that period of time. They're both fantastic.
I did verify that, Courtney Nelson. I saw that same time, dates as well.
Correct.
Looks like they were hired within a couple weeks of each other.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we had 2 open positions for those positions, and within a short period of time, like I said, I can't remember. I think we might have hired Courtney first, but I can't recall. But I know they were pretty close to one another time-wise.
Okay. I'm kind of limited on the talking points. Is there anything you can think of, or a statement that you would like to make to me? Let everybody know.
I mean, all I can say is that, myself and Judge Beckman, every decision that we have made has been to benefit the employees of this courthouse, including the employee who is involved in this circumstance. We've done everything we can to make sure that she doesn't feel like she has to leave. In fact, to the contrary, to make sure that she understands that she's a valuable employee, will continue to be a valuable employee. And, we try to foster that relationship with all of our employees. But specifically, the fact that a circumstance may or may not have taken place, her job's never in jeopardy based upon those circumstances. And anyone who's going to make that claim, it's a false claim.
Okay. Are you real familiar with this building?
I mean, fairly so. I mean,
I did.
You start to get me into the mechanics of the building or something like that, I probably don't, but...
Yeah. Do you know where Brock's storage closet would be?
Former Judge Brock's storage closet?
Yeah.
No,
Then I can contact...
When I
building
first
maintenance.
started here in municipal court, this was Judge Brock's chambers.
This was.
And then when he left, it was Judge Miles. And then when he left, it became mine. So,
Okay.
You said storage closet?
Yeah. I was just looking at some swipe card information.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could probably ask Ms. Boyer. She might know. I don't have a frame of reference to know. I mean, this would be the chambers. That would be, I guess, an area where the robes are. Then there's a bathroom that's right there. Across, you got the bailiff's area,
Okay.
and then you've got the jury room with a base or a bathroom as well.
Okay.
Other than that, like I wouldn't have, or any of the other judges would have a place other than here that would probably be normally assigned to a respective judge.
Okay. Have you been interviewed by anybody else?
No.
No. Okay. Did you say you made a statement to the Inquirer?
I did.
You did?
I
Okay.
did. They quoted me in it.
They quoted you? Okay.
Correct.
All right. I'll look at that. All right. I appreciate your time.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah.
This concludes the interview. It is 1:48 p.m.